What's up, y'all? Malcolm, CEO of Game 7 here with my boy Matt. And of course, KG.
Brother.
Out here in Baltimore City, which Matt recently learned is actually a part of Maryland. You know, in Baltimore dudes, they don't think Baltimore is part of Maryland, but it is. You know, PG and Baltimore is the same state. Crazy, right? But we're here today because this man right here, Matt, has a very unique story that we thought that would be powerful for our mentees to see, especially the high school age ones from the urban areas. And I met Matt in my junior year of high school. Me, him, and Just, we all went to the same school, a boarding school called Petty. And KG went to boarding school as well, a school called Woodbury Forest in Virginia. And when I first met Matt, he was just a real quiet dude, you know, kind of coming into a new environment. We had already been there for 2 years, going into year 3. And it was during our preseason football camp. You know, you got the 2 weeks where you show up, do well, we used to do 3 a days. I don't know which I do now, 1 a day and a walkthrough, but we used to have like 3 practices a day for 2 weeks straight. And he was just a quiet dude, you know, like this real little dusty frog. And he kind of just blended in, and I didn't really pay him no mind. But I remember day 1, we got the pads on, and we were doing Oklahoma pit drill, whatever you and your team call it. You know, when you lay on your back, you get up, one person run the ball, one person tackle. And it was Matt versus Aaron. And Aaron was a bigger dude on the team, and he ran really hard. Like, everybody respected him. Stand-up dude, he just ran hard. But him and Matt got up, and then Matt just picked him up. Boom! Oh, and he caught like everybody's attention. And super long story short, through time, and I played with a bunch of people, dudes that went to the league, D1, D2, D3, All-State, All-American, all of that kind of stuff. Matt was by far the best player that I ever played with. But unfortunately, you know, throughout life, he made some stupid decisions, you know, that came back to bite him in the behind, and he's kind of starting his second chance now. So we thought that we should all link up so that he can share his story, what he's learned, and what we've kind of learned by being on the side throughout this process. So anything you want to add to that so far?
You know, I just feel like it's gonna be a long journey. You know, it's you just gotta keep going. You gotta keep moving. Like, no matter what, you know, no matter how discouraged you get, no matter how mad you get, how disappointed you get, you gotta keep going. At the end of the day, the goal is longevity. The goal is to keep moving by any means. And if you can't run, walk. You can't walk, crawl, do something. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, life is about keep on moving. You gotta keep moving forward. You got to. But so yeah, you know, it's gonna be a lot of obstacles, and there's gonna be things that you gotta see coming, you gotta be aware of, because if you're not, they're gonna sneak up on you, and it might be the death of you. You know, like fake friends, you know, people who you think might have your best interests at heart, but really don't. You know, you gotta watch what you put in your body. You know, like the drugs and the tobacco and the weed, whatever it may be. You know, so what started for me was like a drug addiction in college. I was, you know, used to like the party drugs and the Molly and things that just got you high, Percocets and stuff like that. So, you know, I was into that. But I was playing ball too, and I was going hard. Like I was going hard on both ends. Like, you know, and you know, seeing, yeah, I pulled my hamstring near the end of the season, but it was no reason for it. It was hot. I mean, it was cold. You know, it was towards the end of the season. Like, that's not when you should be pulling the hamstring. And it was just because my body was so badly maintained. Like, you know, I wasn't conditioned for the sport because I was letting this addiction take over everything that I was doing now. So, you know, that extended through after college, and you know, it landed me in a position where I was in prison, and where I just came home from, and you know, it's just an experience that makes you grateful because you go in there and you are in a position where you have nothing at all, nothing, and you gotta make what you kill is what you eat. You know, it's not a lot of hope. It's hopelessness. You know, so you gotta be creative. You gotta use your mind because you don't have all the electronics and different things of that nature. So you gotta be real headstrong. It's just a lot that comes with it. So at the end of the day, there's valuable lessons and everything that you go through, all your trials and tribulations. You just gotta take the best out of it. Like, for example, when I think about prison, it was so hard. Sometimes I'd be locked up in a cell for like 6 months. I don't even come out. I only come out like once a week, like an hour out the week, where I come out and have a little free time. But other than that, that's for like 6 months straight. So it's like, I done been in the cell bleeding from being stabbed and just, you know, fed the worst food you can imagine, having the mouse beat me to my food sometimes. And so when I go through things out here now, I just use that as a basis of comparison. Like, damn, shit, stuff ain't so bad. Like, I just was in the cell, you know, with mice and roaches and, you know, parasites, like fucking COs, you know, gang members. I just was in the cell, you know, in a terrible situation. So this is nothing. This isn't anything I can't handle. It's nothing I can't stomach. So a lot of times your experiences are good to use as a basis of comparison or as a tool that makes you grateful or appreciative, whatever the case may be. But so I know what acts is that for me. So yeah, that's just a little something. That's just, you know, life can take you in many different directions. Like they say, it sounds cliche, but don't do drugs, because all it does is just, you create a habit, and a bad habit, and it's hard to get rid of. Once you do it, it's hard to stop doing it. Like, it's incredibly hard. You might feel like you can, and then your body actually becomes dependent on certain things. Like, you become sick in a way where as though your body is not responding right because it's not, it hasn't had the drug and it needs it because it's become dependent on it. So it's just a lot, you know. A lot of things you want to stay away from out here. You know, you gotta be able to be aware of what those things are. And you know, just off the top, a couple of them, just people with bad energy. You gotta be able to feel energy. You gotta be able to know if this person means well, if this person doesn't. You know, you gotta be able to feel people's aura, you know, their persona, you know, what they're radiating to others. You gotta be able to feel that. Because, you know, you are a reflection of your first 5 friends. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you always want to do that. That's so fake friends, that's definitely something you want to stay away from. The drugs, like I say, stay away from. I think people need to understand there's a line between knowing your culture and trying to be too hood, you know, or I feel like a lot of people get caught up in that, feeling like they need to be validated by other people through acts of violence or through, you know, wanting to wear this false bravado thing. Like, I feel like people just need to stop looking for validation from other people. Stop trying to be validated by other people. Like, know who's important and know whose opinion is important. Because most people that people seek to be validated by, they hold no weight. Like they just hold no weight. They're not anybody. So, you know, I think who you seek validation from means a lot too. Understand who's important and why. You know what I mean? If I have a group of friends, I'm gonna make sure that all my friends are actively doing something, so that at the end of the day, there's no reason why I shouldn't be doing something if I was in a position where as though I couldn't get something going for myself, because I have 4 other friends who have active businesses going on. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to work for one of them. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to. So that's the advantage strategically in setting up, you know, your life a certain type of way to be around certain individuals to get to a certain place you're trying to go. You know, so yeah, you know.
Alright. So let's take some steps back so we can give them like context of how you came to be the man to share what you just shared, right? So first, how'd you end up at Petty?
Well, I ended up at Petty through how did I end up at Petty? Ended up at Petty. My brother was actually applying for some schools. My brother Devin, he's a coach at the Rutgers right now, Devin Red. He's applying for some schools, and you know, we came across Petty, and my father, one of his friends had actually graduated from Petty, so, you know, we put in an application. He wrote me a recommendation, my father's friend, and you know, everything was good from there. Then they told me I had to come on a visit. I came on a visit. It was good. It was a good visit. It was one of the biggest schools I ever stepped foot on in my life. Like, Petty is a very, very, very nice school. Probably the nicest school in the country. The Petty School in Hightstown, New Jersey. A real good school. But so yeah, that's how I ended up with Petty. And my father wanted me to get away from, you know, Baltimore City. So, you know, he felt like it was also a good idea to send me up there and, you know, isolate me in a sense.
All right, so one thing I'll say about Petty is, like, you can tell, quote unquote, that you didn't belong. Not that you didn't belong, but like you could tell, like, yo, this dude come from somewhere else. It's like you just did stuff that people never seen before. Like, for example, it was one weekend or one break, you and Dre came to Baltimore to do whatever y'all did. And y'all caught a cab all the way back to Jersey from Baltimore with no money. Knocking on the door. Hey, Mark, you got some money? Yeah, we got to pay this cab. I don't got, how much was it? A couple hundred?
Yeah, like 200
I
something.
got no money. This was like 11th, 12th grade. This 12th grade when we was roommates.
Yeah, right? I remember that.
But then Matt being Matt, somehow you found a way to get the money.
Yeah, Portia helped me.
You know? Got the money from Portia or wherever you got it from. Or sneaking out the dorm, like through windows. Like, just doing stuff that nobody else would do, you know, and just, you're such like a carefree person. So did you notice like how unique of a person you were there? Like, did you ever feel like I don't belong or
when
this at Petty?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, I mean I felt like I didn't belong at times, but then I kind of always felt like, you know, I'm in control of my own happiness, so like I can have fun anywhere, like I can make a good time anywhere. So that's when it became less about where I was at and just more about the fact that I felt like I didn't fit in because, you know, it was an environment, it was a rich environment as far as academically. And I just didn't feel like I fit in, you know, with the, you know, very smart individuals in the school, I say, you know. So it was more of a Patty was more of, they hung their hat more on academics than they did athletics by far. Like athletics was at the back of their list of words.
Sports we played.
Yeah.
Cause like they love girls basketball.
Yeah, they did.
They love
wrestling,
swimming.
Yeah.
It was like football. Now they sweet. They like one of the best programs in the country. But when we was there, it was kind of. I think we hit a hurdle because the school was so hard to get into.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the people who could have really made a difference on the field
couldn't
get in. You know, now they got a new coach and like a new vision. I'm sure they're making some sacrifices somewhere in terms of the level of student to get some better players.
Definitely.
You know? And I think that probably was hard for you too, because like football was your identity.
It was.
You know, like, if you ain't had football, I don't think you would have made it.
It was. I wouldn't.
You know?
I mean, that was who I was. That was how I defined myself. You know, I'm Matthew Brown, starting running back for Temple University. You know what I'm saying? That really meant something. That really held weight. So at the end of the day, you take pride in that.
All right, so let's go there. Let's go there. So one thing I always tell my girl, and I'm gonna say it again tonight. Actually, every time I see Dion Lewis on the field, it pisses me off. Every time. And what's the other yo from Hunter, the kick returner?
Nick Williams.
Nick Williams. Because these dudes we played against, and I seen Matt cook them, yo. Dion Lewis was giving. I ain't played versus him. That's when y'all played.
He was nice.
He was cooking y'all too, though.
Yeah, he was.
But like both of y'all had like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Y'all went back and forth. And he been in the league now, I don't know, 7, 8 years. Plus Nick Williams. No disrespect to him, but I'm kind of surprised he's still in the league. Right? So and then like
he was good though.
He was out, but we strapped him. We strapped him.
He nice.
I don't know if he cooked y'all the year after, but when we played him, nothing, yo. Between me, you, and Just, he got nothing.
I mean, he was nice in college.
I mean, no,
nice in college.
I'm just talking about when we played.
Yeah.
He got skills to be able to do
Yeah.
the things that he done. But when he was on the field with us, he didn't get nothing. You feel me? I seen Dion Lewis go to work against y'all. But I know you. I think you was better than them. You know. And then like this year, I see the kick returner, the All-Pro kick returner from the Saints, number 11. Yeah, like, ain't no doubt. Like that could have been you. I never seen nobody besides you run back 5 kicks in one game.
Yeah, I know.
Like why would you even keep kicking to you after that? You know.
Man, I missed the game. And it's almost like a scar because they teach you this game when you're young, and they drill it into you, and it's a man's game. So this game kind of shapes your whole personality. You know what I mean? And then eventually, you just have to stop playing this game. And now, once you start playing this game, you gotta be a regular person.
But hold
on. What is a regular person now?
But let's get to,
Hold on.
You hold on. I'm gonna get you because y'all the athletes or the further athletes, right? But let's get to how you even got to the point to where you wasn't playing no more. You know, I think that's important. You know, because like first. So like, there's no doubt in my mind you should have went to like Florida State, Clemson, Bama, one of them. But I think like because of maybe you didn't take Petty as serious, or because you didn't belong, or whatever the reasons may be, you didn't perform as well, probably academically and on the field probably as you could have. You know, so you had to make another stop after high school, even though you were so good on the field, because you needed a lot of things to line up for you, so you could even get to Temple.
Right.
You know, because no disrespect, but I thought you could have went bigger.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know, so what happened after Petty? Where did you go after Petty?
I went to
Milford.
Oh, Milford Academy, upstate New York. It was nice up there. I mean, not nice, but it was a nice experience. You know, we stayed in this big school where we downstairs we took classes. We lived upstairs, and the field was outside. You know, it was like on campus type of situation.
And what kind of kids was there? Like, was there a specific kind of kid that went to that school?
No, I mean, they were good ball players though.
Were they all,
like if you went here, yeah, RPGs. If you went here, you were highly recruited and you were a good ball player. Like, it's what you did. You played ball. These were the ball players. It wasn't about academics. Everybody here had bad grades. Half of them were here because of their grades, just to get, you know, an extra year where though they can get their grades up so they can be eligible, meet the requirements. So yeah, just with that, man, it was definitely a lot.
Yeah, and for y'all that don't know, a PG is like 13th grade.
Right.
So say you go to your regular high school, 12th grade, you really good on the court, you really good on the field, and you don't really got your academics lined up, or your academics are lined up and you want another chance to show what you can do on the court or the field or whatever you play, you can kind of go to high school for an extra year so that you can show what you can do again, and then after that go to college. You know, it's kind of like JUCO, I guess. Like,
but you're not wasting any years of eligibility.
Exactly, because you're still high school.
So I went up there and did my thing. I mean, there's people from everywhere up there, all over the country. I met some of my best friends, Jermaine Robinson. He went to Toledo, played in the league for a second, played in the CFL. Dominique Harris, you know, another good friend. Went to Milford with me, then went to Wagner. And a lot of good men. But yeah, so that's how I got there after that, and then I generated a lot of looks from there. I did real well. That was the year after LaShawn McCoy and Craig Cooper came out, so we were the class after them. So yeah, but we generated a lot of noise, and I had Temple that offered me a preferred walk-on, and that was the best situation I had as far as like looks and people that were offering me anything. So I wanted the full scholarship, but at the end of the day, I had to take it right then and there because I wanted to secure some type of, you know, me still being able to play in the future. So yeah, I locked in with that situation.
Temple. You was at Milford. You got the opportunity at Temple.
Yeah.
You locked it in because you wanted to make sure you could still play.
Yeah. So boom. So when I get the yeah. So I locked in with the Temple situation. So I ended up going to Temple. First semester, spring ball. I got up there in January, so this was spring ball, first semester. Did my thing, went off. I earned my scholarship straight after spring ball. I had a scholarship after my first semester. So the only thing I paid for at Temple was the first semester. So you know, I went in there with a point to prove. I wasn't leaving empty-handed. Not only did I want that scholarship, I want the starting position. I had a lot of big expectations, young, and I drilled these into my head that I knew that these were going to be. I knew this was going to be. It had to be. You get what I'm saying? So it's a mindset. It's definitely a mindset. Everything's a mindset. You know, how far you push yourself depends on your mindset. How far you can go depends on your mindset. So, at the end of the day, you gotta keep people around with good mindsets, with positive vibes, good oil, good energy.
So, what are some of the athletic accomplishments that you had at Temple?
Special Teams Player of the Year in the Big East Conference 2012. First team as a running back. First team as an athlete, Big East. A whole bunch of first teams and Player of the Week. I got helmet stickers from ESPN, Lou Holt signed for having 225 rushing yards on Army and 4 touchdowns. Then I had the week after that, 170 rushing yards.
Ohio?
Oh yeah, against Ohio.
I watched that at your house.
Yeah, so, you know, I definitely had some significant achievements. And, you know, things that I can hold my hat on and be proud of. But now it's about using them now for the good of them. You know, trying to use them to help somebody else's life. Like,
well, hold on, let's keep it going, because that's not where your career ended at, right?
Where?
With Temple.
No.
Right. So after Temple.
Okay, at Temple.
Was that the league? You went to the.
Yeah, I went to Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. That's when they had Revis, right?
Yeah, that's when they had Revis. At the time I went to Tampa, I was doing my thing down Tampa. I was balling. Like the second week. No. The first or second day that we come back and do, we run our conditioning test. Coach called me into his office and cut me. I was in total disbelief. I was completely confused because my production was so high. I was producing every day constantly. I was making moves. I was playing ball. I was embarrassing guys constantly. I made it my business. I made it my duty to go out there and do that, and that's what I was doing. So I was impressed with my performance throughout the entire camp. So, you know, it really left me confused as to what their reasoning was behind cutting me. But sometimes, I mean, in the NFL it's so political, sometimes it's a money thing. You know, this guy is getting paid this much, but you're getting paid this much. You know, room is getting taken up on the salary cap. Just different things, where though people got to get squeezed for other people, or different situations just call for certain things. So, you know, I understand the nature of the game, but at that time I didn't. I do now though. So, but I was cut, so after I got cut, I was in a position where Canada looked like it was my only option. So I had a team that reserved my rights coming out of college, meaning they made an offer that I couldn't sign with any other Canadian team besides them after my trials with the NFL. If nothing worked out with them, they were the only Canadian team that I can go to. So since I let them hold my rights and they held my contract with it, you know, I went straight to them. So they were called the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. I went up there. We won the Grey Cup, which is actually the Super Bowl in Canada. So, you know, it was good. It was a great experience. Great, lovely experience. Seeing different parts of the world. Had my own house. Had my own puppy. You know, my girlfriend was living with me at the time. You know, just a beautiful experience. Just getting to see something else. So, let me see.
Rough Riders.
Yeah, so when I was with the Rough Riders, the following year, you know, I got into it with my coach, and he moved me to outside wide receiver. And in the CFL, the field is wider, so now the throw from the quarterback to the outside receiver is a farther throw. And in most cases he doesn't throw it because the DB has more time to break on the ball and pick the ball up. So that receiver is mainly a decoy receiver. He runs a route, clears it out for the receiver underneath who's going to make the catch. You know, so I was irritated with that because I was so used to being a playmaker. I was one of the best players on the team. And, you know, I told the coach to change me back to my position. You know, because that was where I was comfortable. And, you know, he didn't want to do it. So me being arrogant at the time, I got on a plane and I left and went back to Baltimore. My coach was calling me the next morning. I didn't answer. You know, I just left. It was just so unprofessional. And since then, I haven't played a lick of football. You know, because the way you carry yourself means everything. The way you perceive yourself to the world means everything. It means everything. I mean,
you played arena too, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about full-on football, full season, a real legit team. That was the last team I played for, and I literally walked away from that. A great opportunity, a great situation, because I was feeling myself, I was smelling myself. I was in a state of arrogance. I was in a state of you know, thinking that I was more than I was. I was thinking that I could do more than I could. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I haven't played a lick of football since then, and I know that that's the reason why. But after that, I was in a position where I got in trouble. I got locked up for driving some females around who were prostitutes. I got locked up for that. You know, they blew it up like it was something bigger than it was, human trafficking and things like that. I didn't even know anything about what these women did. I drove them around a couple of times. So, you know, I was arrested for that. And, you know, the judge ended up dropping some of the time down. But while I was on bail for that, I got arrested for something else, armed robbery. But it wasn't, it wasn't so much I was in a place where as though I was using prescription pills to mask my pain or to hide from my problem or to deal with my reality. And it was throwing things off even way worse. Things were going even more left. Because at the end of the day, you gotta face them like a man, like a woman. You gotta face your problems head on. And I was doing a lot of it with prescription pills, and it was lowering my standard of living. You know, it was changing me into a different person. You know, totally different person. And just I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't. I wasn't happy with myself. Then my brother was killed right before I went to prison. And you know, it was just something that you just never gonna fully get over. Something that's always gonna be there.
And for clarity, when me and brother did get killed, they was trying to get you.
Yeah.
They weren't even trying to get him.
Right.
And it's your little brother, right?
Right.
He tried to be the big, not tried, he was the big man. And he automatically went to protect you. Right? I couldn't imagine. So did that affect you like even more as you went into prison?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it definitely did. Cause it had my mind in a place that it never was before. I couldn't understand. I was trying to understand death. I couldn't understand it at that time. It was something I couldn't wrap my fingers around. I just couldn't. Like, where you go now? You know what I'm saying? You deal with that, especially when these are people who you spend every day of your life with.
Yeah.
Then just to have them gone, it just doesn't make
sense.
It's a confusing state to be in. Very confusing. So I try to always, make sense of stuff.
Have you? How long was it? 3 years? How many years ago was that now?
What?
Since COVID.
2.
2? Only 2 years?
Yeah.
How long was you locked up?
Like almost 3 years. No, it's almost like 3.
That makes sense. So Cody had to be 3 years then.
Yeah. It was July 1st, 2017.
So 2.5. So you weren't locked up 3 years then.
I was out there for 2 years and some change.
So alright, that makes sense. Alright, so let's just keep running with that. So how was, like, as a teacher and as a mentor, I always believe, like if you came in and the kids heard your story and they know that you've been to prison, they would listen to you way before they would listen to other people who have not been to prison. Which I understand, that at the same time that makes 0 sense. Because you just told us clearly you didn't know you didn't want to go to prison, you feel me? And even when you made the decisions that you did, you knew that prison was a very real possibility, and you still did it. So of course, obviously you have a powerful story to share, but it's kind of weird to me that they'll listen to you, not you, not the individual, but you, a person that's been in prison before they listen to other people. Primarily because of things that they pick up from our culture, music, YouTube, movies, family, all of those kind of things. So as much as you want to, like, what was prison life like?
Man.
Like, what was the...
Prison life was like... Prison life was like the slave days. That's what it was like. You had to compensate for everything. You don't get good anything. You don't get special anything. So everything you get is bumped down. Food is bad. Your bed and your sleep and all that shit, bad. Even the chairs we sit in, bad. Everything. The pencils, bad. The pens, phony. The paper, bad. The water, bad. You get what I'm saying? You have to shift everything. You want to drink, you gotta make your wine. Still oranges from the cafeteria, we bring them back and we make wine. If you want certain drugs, there's certain type of ways you gotta go about getting it. But a lot of it has to do with people concealing the drugs in their rectal cavity. So, a lot of drugs go in and out people's butts. So,
tell us like your everyday like a mental state, like were you? Because a lot of people think of prison, and I haven't been there, and they think of kind of like the movies. Like,
you always gotta be on G mode. Like you always gotta have your antennas up because things take off that fast. As soon as you miss one thing, now that can be your life. You or whatever group you belong to, you could put them in a situation where though any one of them could be compromised, and nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be in those situations. So most of the time, people in prison don't joke or do a lot of things like that. They in a position where as though they either learning, they either getting in trouble from not knowing what they're supposed to do or doing what they're supposed to do, or they teaching other people what to do. Like, but at the end of the day, you know, prison is just it's a different type of environment. You know, it never sleeps. Prison never sleeps. And then in prison, you gotta be more of a man, because you gotta be more accountable to your word. If you say something, somebody's gonna see you. Like, you can't outrun anybody in prison.
Yeah.
So we get to see more clear than anyone if this man is a man of his word or not. And in prison, your word means everything. Like, that's your whole name. That's how you get everything in your word. What type of man is you? Is he a man of your word? If he says something, is he going to do it? Because you can't tell somebody you're going to do something and then don't do it. Because when you do that, first of all, you put them in a position where as though it's just not a good situation at all. So you don't want to make any promises in prison, especially if you don't know if you can fulfill them. Then the phone is one of the big arguments in prison. The phone. People argue over the phone all the time, because, you know, that's how people call home to their loved ones. That's how people do money transactions. The phones mean a lot. So normally every organization should have their own phone. But you get in a situation where there'll be 3 phones and there'll be 5 different organizations. Now we have to find a way where everybody can get on this phone, because at the end of the day, real recognize real. It's not about what group you in. It's about what type of individuals you have inside that group. Because real, they always going to go about things a certain type of way, with a certain type of swagger, with a certain type of energy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's prison it's just a totally different experience than it is in the free world. But I feel like it tests a man. It tests his limits. It tests how much he can take. I feel like every man should endure in some point in time in their life, just so that they can, you know, understand and be aware that, you know, if you don't get it right, that's how you're going to have to do it. Or, you know, it's way harder things that you could be doing, you know, as if that, for instance. So it's just like, yeah, I mean, I wanna put me and my family in a position to win.
All right, so something that I want to touch on that you just mentioned was about running with people in prison, you know, like your group of friends, or you refer to as your organization. And just for somebody who never been there, I assume that I understand, like, when you go into prison, you kind of forced to pick somebody to run with. Like, if you black, you run with the black people. And within that, you run with the Crips, or you run with the Bloods, or you run with them. And the Hispanics do their thing, and the white people do their thing. And that also made me think, like, kind of outside, like, the people that you pick is very important. That you pick to choose to spend your time with is very important. So how is that like in prison? And then also speak about how the people that you chose to run with outside of prison led you to being in prison.
I say, well, as far as the people outside prison that led me to be in prison, you know, like I said, at that time, I was under the influence of drugs, so I wasn't able to be as cautious as I should about selecting my friends and about who I allowed in my space and who I allowed to be in my presence. And I feel like when you're in that state of using drugs, you know, it alters your thinking. You know, you're not as sharp of an individual as you are when you're sober. I mean, it's just that's just the facts. So, you know, a lot of times it wasn't allowing me to really understand a lot of things that was going on. Oh yeah, as far as like in prison, yeah, there's a lot of, you're gonna have individuals who you come into contact with who are gonna be your friends. And I mean, these are gonna be guys that, I mean, they'll be your friends on the street. These are your guys who you have a lot of love for. So in most cases, those guys, they mainly dictate, you know, what a guy is going to do if he indulges with his friends or not. Because you could be the type of friend who your friends are in an organization but you're not a part of it, or you know, your friends are in an organization and you are a part of it, or your friends are in an organization but you're a part of something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, the fact that in prison everybody wants to belong to something, because whether it's because of religious reasons, gang reasons, everyone is divided into sectors. Like, you have different regions, different groups of people, you know. So, you know, of course by race, and then once by race is by, you know, sometimes religious background. Like, for instance, the Muslims, all of them stick together. They're their own organization, and they deal with things accordingly. Then you have the gangs. You know, you have BGF, you have Blood, you have Crip, you have DMI, you have, yeah, so MS-13. And then, that's how things are divided up. So, yeah, you know, in prison, most times, you really end up doing the things that your walking buddies, what you call your walking buddies, the people you walk around with the most. People always see you with. That's your walking buddy, that's your rap buddy. You know? So what they do, in most cases, it says a lot about what you're gonna choose to do, because they're the people closest to you. And most cases, like, people look at it as if it's you know, like, as if people have to have malice intent to be a part of these organizations, and you really don't, because a lot of the times they just provide protection for an individual, or a lot of times they're providing a background where a person can have a background, can have a history now, or can have a family because they don't have a family, you know, or just, you know, the feeling of being wanted, you know. Organizations are formed to protect people. So, you know, it's just when people start abusing their powers where things go wrong. So, in most cases, all right, say for instance, if you hang with a Blood, but you're not a Blood, okay? These other guys in groups, what do you think they think you are?
They're gonna think I'm Blood too.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're gonna treat you the same way they're gonna treat one of your other homies. If they pop off on one of your homies over here on this side of the room, and you over there next to them, they're gonna pop off on you too, because they're gonna think that that's what you with. So most times people fall into organizations like that anyway. Like, I mean, they already think you, so you might as well, all right, yeah, you get what I'm saying? That's a crucial way that people fall into these organizations, you know. But at the end of the day, I always had respect for people who walked alone, meaning they didn't. But you understand, there's things that come with that. Like, it's some hard stuff that comes with that too, because when you outnumber, or when people group up on you, or like a sucker, a person who we would call a sucker, who we would think is a chump, you know, who would hit on a woman, wouldn't hit on a man. They're the guys in there that you feud with, you know, that you get into it with and stuff like that.
All right, so tell us, all right, you talking about gruesome situations in prison. Tell us about some.
Man, I've seen a situation where it was the Muslims and crib. A Muslim and like a Crip and his homeboys. They were different things. They weren't just Crips or nothing, but they had an altercation. Man, they got so bad in there. It was a bloodbath in there. It was a bloodbath in there. Ooh, it was a bloodbath in there. And then things happen so quick, and especially when you're not on a side that's involved in the altercation, you just can sit back and watch. It's interesting. It's like watching animals fight. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it's like watching animals fight. Man, people wounding each other. Then, a lot of times we don't go to medical, so we don't get taken out the tier. So we don't go to medical, so we'll stay in our cell and let somebody on the tier patch us up, like stitch us up. It's just a different type of life, man. It's different. Everything is different. The way you survive is different. The way you eat is different. You got 10 minutes to eat. They come in the chow hall and they rush you straight out of there. That's why we gotta sit together as a whole. Like me and like 10 of my homies, like 10, 20 of us. So that they don't try to basically push us out of the cafeteria. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess that's the price of being in there.
And you also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 2 times you got into it with the dude who tried to kill you. The dude who killed your brother.
Oh yeah.
And so how was that? Mm-hmm. I can only imagine. Like, did you even know he was in there with you, or like y'all just crossed paths?
No, see, what happened was,
I can cut anything off.
No, I noticed that one day I was in my building and I saw a guy come to the door in front of my in the day room. There's a day room right on our tier, and it's at the bottom floor. So we were looking out the day room, other day room window. And I saw this guy who was trying to get my attention, but he had my brother's killer next to him. And my brother's killer had just got to the jail because he still had his crate, his bin, with all the stuff. So the guy's trying to get my attention to get somebody in the day room for him, because I was in the day room. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that me and my brother's killer just we were locked eyes. So, I let him know, like, okay, you know you ain't gonna stay here, right? Mm-hmm. You're not gonna be here long. Mm-hmm. So, we looked at each other, we were sizing each other up. So, how's it go? So boom, I don't ever get the guy for who this guy's asking me to get, because I'm like, no, you got what you like, go ahead. So that morning, we go to breakfast. So breakfast time, we get on the walk. I get in the cafeteria and I tell all my homeboys, like, look, this is what's going down. The guy who killed my brother, he's in the jail. I'm gonna get him. Mm-hmm. So then my homeboys like, all right, cool. So they're with it. So it's a bunch of us. Then him and his homeboys come in. It's a bunch of them. So we get up. And I had another friend who was with me, but he was sitting at another table. He was my cellmate. So they get up. We let them get up because we weren't gonna move. They kept waiting for us to get up, but we wouldn't get up. So they get up and they leave out. So my one homeboy, my cell buddy, he left out in front of them, and we came from behind them. So when we get out on the walk, they full flash keep turning around, looking behind them to look at us. And while they do that, my cell buddy that was in front of them took a knife and stabbed the boy in the face. The boy falls on the ground. We come running from the rear. Mm-hmm. It's an all-out war. I find him. I get on him. I start stabbing him up. Mm-hmm. And you know, he's running and pleading and falling, then getting back up, he screaming for his life. Like, a lot of people, they not the people you think they are. You know, but you know, I'm learning all this. I'm learning all of it. You know, on the fly, but it's all good. You know, I wouldn't want it any other way. So, yeah.
So I think that's powerful right there. Like, I know one thing you always say, like, through time, is that you really appreciate me and Just, because we two are the people who would tell you no. Like, most people don't tell you no. You have this gift of, this what we gonna do, you gonna do it. And not even that you gotta pressure people, like, I don't know what it is. Like, yo, we about to go ride these, all right, yo, let's go. Me and Just like, nah. And we'll tell you, like, yo, that may not be the best choice for whatever reason. And I think you always respected us for that. But I don't think that until recently you respected that about us. You get what I'm saying? Because maybe you knew that you could do what you wanted to with these 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 other people. Niggas, you know? And like, just on the other side, that's been something that's always been like hard for me. Now, we ain't never had no issues. Never. Not even close to no issues. But there's been times where, like, I'm so disappointed in you because you had to pay the price that I knew was coming down the road, and I tried to tell you over and over and over and over and over again, and like, and you just wasn't hearing it. So, and then like, look where that put you at, and then look what that made you do to other people. So what would be your advice on, like, maybe people on my side that see their friends doing things that may not be the best, and then people on your side, like, trying to decipher which way you want to go with things. Like, you got friends who with you to go do stuff, and you got friends with you who not with you to go do stuff because they got the bigger picture. So, like, how has that affected you, and like, what kind of advice would you give to people who may be experiencing that kind of circumstance?
Just keep pushing, keep your head up and keep going. You know, ain't no let up, no let up, no let up. You gotta keep moving no matter what. And you be happy that you did the next day. So you gotta keep going, you gotta keep going.
So maybe, well, that's one of the things I would always tell you to do is, like, yo, slow down. Like, you just go. Like you said, like, from the beginning, like, I think that's what made you so good on the field. Like, I'm going to second guess it. I'm going to the crib. Or yo got the ball, I'm gonna break his leg. You feel me? Like, you would just flip more ball carriers than I ever seen. You know, like, everyone, like, yo, you gotta slow down, you know. But then at the same time, like, I had to learn that you gotta learn on your own. And I do think, and it's crazy to say this, I think prison was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because if it wasn't, probably you and your brother would be dead, like, almost guaranteed. Or you would be doing life, if not like death row. You know. But it was very hard for me to, like, see you make some of those mistakes. And kind of like both of y'all, Kendall ain't never been to prison. But when he was younger, there was so many things like, yo, like, do this, try this, do this, try this. Ain't no doubt in my mind he would have had a better career at the very minimum, if not still be in the league. You know, so maybe you can chime in from how those things went about for you. But, like, that's been one of, and that's just, y'all just know me in general. Like, I believe in people, and, like, I just push people. And it's been hard for me to, like, see y'all have all of these gifts and not really be able to maximize them. You know? So, like, if you can go back, what, not necessarily about me, but, like, what would you have changed? And not really, like, specific events, but, like, what about your character? What about your decision making would y'all have changed that you think could have been simple, but would have made a drastic difference for you?
Mine would definitely be my urgency. also my thing when I was younger, I was always bigger than a lot of people, but I never worked out often. So I had a fear that, you know, I was just supposed to be this strong dude. So I avoided working out or doing anything to not get that fear of failure, right? So I kind of pushed it away, and because I was scared of failing, or I was scared to see people or let people see me not succeeding, because I have been a high achiever at things I've done. So doing that, and then also you know, I was a late bloomer in my career. So, you know, my freshman year, I was still 5'5", 185, a little chunky kid. So, you know, for me, if I had worked out, my thing was I just didn't want to do hard work because it was a little hard, and I was scared of it, you know. And I think that's a lot of people's you know, big things, that they're scared of, you know, doing hard work because you can't physically see it right away. You have to wait for results. So for me, especially when I was younger, I was impatient, and just like you were. And I think we were pretty similar in a lot of ways, because we both have big auras. Like, a lot of people are naturally drawn to, you know, who we are, and we have people that will run through walls for us, you know, just because that's, you know, like, even though we are impatient, but we have like warm hearts. So when I was younger, I was so impatient. I wanted, if I didn't get it right now, I didn't want it, because it was just like, you know, if I can get something right now, why not? So I didn't value the process. When I was younger, I didn't value the process. And I didn't understand the process, so that's why I didn't value it. So I decided to kind of avoid it rather than doing it. And, you know, as an adult now, I realize that's you're never going to be able to be successful when you go through it avoiding rather than facing, you know, all the hard work and the process and the journey at hand. Because when you get to that point, it makes that process so much more fruitful, in the sense that you can go back and look at, you know, just the different trials and tribulations you had to get there. Like, even though it came out to the way you wanted to, it didn't happen exactly how you wanted to. And I think that's just the beautiful part of kind of life. And you know, when I was younger, I didn't see the world that way. I wanted it fast, and I wanted it now. And I didn't want to slow down, and I didn't want to look like I would fail. So I avoided things.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And what about you?
Okay.
Like, what would you have changed that you think would have helped you not make the mistakes that you made?
I would have tried to change my mindset. Because I was in savage mode, but I was too savage. Like, I needed to put the filter on it. You know what I'm saying? I needed to still finish the school part. I needed to understand that was of importance. The things that I'm going through now, I was supposed to understand this a couple years ago, so that I wouldn't be here like this. But obviously then I didn't get it, because I'm here. So, you know what I mean? It's something that really has to be worked on. Like seriously, it has to really be worked on.
I do think the dope thing about it is that, like, we all stayed friends throughout this whole process. And as crazy as it sounds, and as sad as it is, I think my best conversations with you were when I came to visit you in prison. It was like all that, even though you probably was the most savage in prison, you were by far the most vulnerable with me doing the visits. Because it was like a different appreciation. You know, and you said too many people didn't come see you. A lot of people started to change. They weren't really sending you no bread, you know. And I ain't come every weekend, but like whenever I could, I came out that jump. Whenever you needed something from me, I sent it to you.
Oh yeah.
Or me and Just sent it to you together.
Oh, that's not no question. There's no question about that.
And then at the same time, me committing my life to like Game 7, I was learning so much and like trying to bring it to you, so because I knew you needed it. Like that was the most traumatic time of your life, and you needed a lot of those tools. So I think that's a lesson right there. Like you had to lose a life, almost take other lives, and go through all that kind of stuff, just to get your mind to shift to be able to receive the information from you.
Right.
Like, you know, they say once you hit 26 as an adult, you don't really learn until you experience massive trauma. You know, so for those of y'all, friends, family, relationships, like you don't have to go through the bad stuff first to be able to take the information. You know, because like so many of us, I think everybody know what to do or what not to do.
Yeah.
They just don't be disciplined enough
to sustain on the rules.
Yeah, to do the right thing like all the time. And that to me always will get the best results, but you can have high character all the time.
Yeah, I think so too.
So I just want to offer you like that's too
integrity. Means a lot. What you do when nobody else is looking.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
I think that means a lot, and people kind of minimize that a lot. That means a lot. Like, are you my friend to my face. You make other people believe we're good friends. But are you my friend when I'm not around? Is you my friend behind my back? Like that's what I need, friends behind my back. People who was friends they're my friend just as much as they're my friend in my face when I'm not around. You get what I'm saying? They got your back. That's what friendship is about.
And that's falling apart. Like it could just be me and my lens, but like working in schools, these friends weak, like they're literally friends in the social media
with them be nasty
frame. Like we do things for social media, or that's my man just cause we from the same block. Or I'm never gonna pursue a friendship with you even though we connect just because we from different blocks. And then oh, he doing this. It's just kind of like prison outside. Like my man getting into something, so I'm gonna get into it. Like no, you don't. Like you be the friend that says no.
Right.
You feel me? Like y'all don't all gotta do this, or they got an issue. Let them fight one-on-one. Like don't jump. Like just cause KG and KP jump back, I'm not jumping in.
Why y'all bringing a knife and these niggas ain't jumping on that?
Exactly. Like, let them handle their business. And I don't promote this, but before it'd be like, yo, block the bathroom so nobody get in. Don't everybody run in with their phones promoting it on. You feel me? Now none of that is really good, but like all of the morals, values, and principles that was in it. Like if I was a young dude now, I wouldn't trust nobody. Like I don't know what I would do. Like I don't know what I would do. It would be really if I was in like these cities that we in.
But the young ones are the ones who are doing all the stuff.
Exactly. But that's because they ain't really got no friends.
And that's something I share with some of the students I work with about when I was playing. Sometimes, you know, as hard as it is, like, you know, it's hard to stay off of Twitter and what things people say about you. I'm sure when you play, you was looking it up. Like, it's hard to not look at that. And then you're like, dang, like, yo, like, y'all nasty. But then now, it's like, yo, like, you got that mindset, like, with great success, there's always going to be people that don't want to see you great because, you know, they feel bad that they're not pushing themselves where they need to be. So the last thing I'm gonna worry about is someone who has no interest in me, who doesn't want me to succeed, who doesn't care about me and my success. Why am I gonna listen to what that person has to say about me? You know, or give that all those words, that power, and when, you know, it's like, yo, like, come on, bro, like, I don't really even know you. You don't even know who I am. So why give that person all that power over your words? And it's crazy because I'm really trying to instill that into some of the students I work with, because especially like middle school age, that's the age where you really start shaping your identity, and nobody wants to be a punk. So it's a fine line on, you know, when to, you know, be fearless and when to just walk away and put that pride to the side, because that pride be killing people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely does. Definitely does.
Well, let's say this, because I know we've been rapping, but I hope y'all learned something. You know, quick synopsis. It's my roommate from Petty, which is literally one of the best high schools in the world. I think the students now, the salary, the tuition is about $55,000 a year. So that's $220,000 for a high school education. We went to school 7 days a week, classes Monday through Saturday, study hall Sunday through Friday. The faculty as a whole is ranked like one of the best faculties in the world. And I know at a time, I don't know up to date, I think it was actually the largest school in America in terms of land wise, like with just 500 students, but the Olympic rowing like training facility is there. There's a golf course, there's like 4 football fields, a bunch of soccer fields. The weight room is multi-level with a little turf field in it. It's crazy. So we met there with those kind of opportunities. I forgot to mention, you did too. You are a high school All-American. You went to one of the best postgraduate programs in the country. You were set numerous records at Temple. You made it to the NFL on the same team.
Didn't you set an NCAA record for multi-purpose yards?
Yeah, like all-purpose yards, conference records.
Yeah, I remember that, bro. Like, sorry to cut you off, but like when Malk first met you, he used to show me a highlight, because obviously, like, y'all was there and I'm in Virginia. Right. And I played running back. Bruh, you always had the Wayne on the highlight tape. But to this day, I remember. And I mean, yo, like, I used to watch it, like, and I'm 6'2", like, and you like, well, I don't know how tall you were, like 5'7". Oh, no disrespect. Yeah, so I'm like, yo, like, I want to run like it, like, and I'm a whole 6'2", and I still remember this to this day. I'm like 15 years old, just like idolizing, and I ain't even met you yet at this point, but I just knew you through him. So, like, yeah, you was running. Always, every time you put a new clip, I was watching it. Wheezy on that joint every single time.
Yeah, they thought I was a Wheezy fan, but I ain't had no choice living with you.
Oh yeah, you know that's my man.
I ain't a Wheezy, but
you know that's my man.
Now we got our first tattoos. I was first, of course. I think I actually inspired you to get your tattoo. Now you got them on your hands and neck and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, the record setter at Temple. You made it to the NFL. You played on the same team, some Hall of Famers. CFL, you won the Grey Cup. You touched the Arena League. You know, so all different kinds of accolades as an athlete. But then, you know, you lost it all. You know, all of your mental battles, your battles with drugs, losing people, hurting yourself, hurting other people, going through prison. You know, you still down now. Like, normally we do interviews in the office, but we came to you because you can't really move too far right now. You know? So I just hope that whoever does get a chance to watch this, especially the young men and women who are 14 to 22 age or so, just learn from him. You know, learn from KG, learn from us, but especially him, because like all this can be gone, bruh. Like, like literally like that. And at your hardest times, you're gonna really see who's down for you. And a lot of people gonna quit on you. And I really believe some people quit on you not because they wanted to, but they know how to process it themselves, and they really believe like it wasn't nothing they could do for you. You know, they were disappointed in you or mad at you, or they thought you was whatever, you know. But you'll see, like, when you really need people, a lot of people really ain't gonna be there for you. You know, so I just hope that y'all can learn from Matt and not make the same mistakes that he made.
Because then it's pointless. Then the story is pointless. If you don't take from the story and apply it to your own life and dodge some of those obstacles that I set up myself for myself to trip over. If you're not navigating around them, then what are we talking about?
All right, I want to say this on camera so we can manifest it. Luckily, Matt has amazing legal representation. So after he gets through all of the things that he gets through, these two gonna head up our football team. We're gonna have a league, but we really want Matt to focus on like a last chance you kind of program, you know, with some young men. And I mean, maybe we get some girls basketball or track or something. You know, people that's seeking out second chances. And these two definitely gonna head up our football program. And I think I'm gonna be like the GM. Get the right teachers in there, get the right coaches in there.
You know, I can't wait.
And be able to help people. But
I'm excited,
it definitely didn't start today, but this phase of our life, you know, so. And then give Matt, I know, something that made me feel proud was Matt said one of the things that helped him get through prison is knowing that he had me in a Game 7 capacity supporting him, and that later in life he would have an avenue to where he can make some money while impacting other people, just kind of being himself, doing what he do through Game 7. So we're going to stamp it today.
Definitely.
So I appreciate you being so vulnerable, welcoming us into your home. You know, that's why all this stuff is going on in the background. We in the crib, we not in the office. So
real additions.
You know it.